Hello brick builders, how you doing today? Mr. Studs with the daily tip number 26. If you've been watching the series I've been doing on roads, you will notice that there isn't much detail going on right now, and we are going to start fixing that first by adding some street lights. So thank you to Magic Killer for suggesting that. These are a variety of pieces that we can use to make different types of street lights and stoplights, etc. in our city. These are all great to work with. You can use your gears and bushings to add texture. You can make your rods or your poles out of these Technic connectors. You don't want them too big and chunky, but then you don't want them too small like a rod. Lego uses rods all the time. I find they look too small. So this is a good, nice thickness for a light pole. This can obviously be a light or even a base to one of your poles. You have your various axle sizes and then tons of bars and clips and half pins to add in detail. So here is the first design I came up with very quickly. The base is just two round plates with the axle hole and then a tile with the hole in it for the axle to go through. That connector just slides on there, and then all of these connectors are just put together by the red pin. At the very top we have a pneumatic connector. We have the arm from Exoforce and the water spout piece connected to our lamp head. So that one's very simple. The trick with the pneumatic connector is to take the long end and put that up and down, so you just have this side where your clip is going to connect onto. And that lets you angle that stoplight however you want. If you want it straight down, you can do that. If you want a little angle, which is usually they're at a little angle, so that lets you put that street light whichever way you want. So there's one. Here's another one with a lot more texture in it. I used these connectors with the ridges on them and then bushings to space them. So the connectors in here are three axles, and at the bottom I used a chunkier base, the nozzle piece, and again just the round tile with the hole in the middle. Up top is a couple of bars here, and then I used a Technic connector to pop that in to get us our kind of futuristic looking lamp head. And that's just connected by a translucent yellow stud pop in like that. So I wanted to do something a bit different with the stoplight. What I really wanted to have was the crossing signal, and I wanted to have that characteristic arch that's on the stoplight. So it took me a little while of playing around with this, but we have the same base with the two plates and the tile with the hole. I put a couple of gears there just for a decorative element. And as we go up, we have this connector with a half stud in it. And we have our button for our crossing signal. This, again, is one of those connectors with a half stud in it. I used an eyelet piece in that pneumatic connector again. You'll see this thing is really, really useful in trying to make different kind of lamp heads and designs. And then our crossing signal is obviously just a clip with the translucent orange. Now this, rather than trying to make it stay in place and everything, it's just actually sitting there and gravity is holding it in place. And you can adjust this crossing signal to kind of get the angle that you want. And you can also pivot that piece there if it's not quite balanced. So then we go up again. At the top we use a pneumatic connector Same way as we did in the lamp post. Put it up and down, and then we just have the one connection on the side. We use the Exoforce arm again, and then a bar. And then I was going to go with the typical headlight bricks for the stop light itself, but I thought it was too bulky, so I went with 3 plate thickness and one with the clip on it. And instead of doing the overhanging tooth brick, or yeah, that's what it is, I went with putting the studs out, the anti-studs out, so that it gives the impression of the cowling around the light. So those are 3 designs that I made really quickly, but you can definitely modify it to your own tastes and what you want in your city. It's a lot of fun to play around with. So give it a try to make your own streetlights. I know LEGO does some different ones, but I definitely think you can have way more fun if you're building your own. Thanks so much for watching. For those that have liked, subscribed, and shared, please continue to do so. We are on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook if you want to join in the conversation there. And please consider supporting us making these videos on Patreon. Have a fantastic day. Keep dreaming in bricks. Bye-bye.